Hello everyone, today we are discussing equipment selection in the Trenton Refrigeration Load Calculator tool located in the Trenton Refrigeration Design Tools package, which can be downloaded from the Trenton Refrigeration website. This tutorial is a continuation of the previous tutorial using the same 10 by 10 by 10 cooler application at a 35-degree box temperature. You can see the calculation is already queued up, and we are going to click the Select Equipment button and go to the next screen. So let's start at the top of the screen. The equipment type is air-cooled condensing unit. You can choose from a variety of different families depending on your application, which we'll discuss in a later tutorial. The box temperature from the previous screen is noted here at 35 degrees. The factor of safety is 10%. Runtime is 16 hours. And from the previous screen, our total hourly load, required given our factor of safety of 10%, and then our capacity required given our runtime is 7,548 BTUs per hour. The refrigerant, you can click on this button under refrigerant, and in the pull-down list are a number of qualified refrigerants. You would choose that relative to your application or job site. Sightline frequency, in the U.S., that's always going to be 60 hertz, but in countries outside of the U.S., that could be 50. So just take note of that. Condensing unit ambient temperature, in this case, I'm going to select 100 degree ambient. The design TD is 10.1, and we'll discuss different TDs in later tutorials, and the suction line loss is half a degree, and we'll also discuss in later tutorials how much of an impact suction line loss has on your selection. So for now we'll leave it at 0.5. Okay, so on the left hand side you'll see condensing units air, and it gives you the family. So the EH is hermetic, ES is semi-hermetic, EZ is scroll, and then the quiet line. We're going to keep this simple and just go with a hermetic, so we click on the plus sign here and choose from indoor or outdoor. And we'll choose outdoor in this case, and it gives you three choices here in terms of horsepower that could potentially fit your total capacity required. So we'll start with this 1 horsepower and choose our voltage next, and we'll just use single phase 208. And you can see down here it tells you that the capacity of that condensing unit is 8,794 versus your required capacity of 7,548. So let's step it down to this 0.9 horsepower and click on that one, and it tells us it's 8,061 BTUs per hour. So we're just a little bit over what our load requirement is, and that should be fine. Next we're going to choose an evaporator. Click on low profile. We'll just use air defrost because it's a cooler, and you can choose from a PSC motor or EC motors. We'll click on the EC motor, and again it gives you 3 evaporators to choose from relative to what your total load requirements are. So given that we're at 7,548 BTUs per hour, I'll click on the 209 selection here, the 209, and we'll choose a voltage of 115 volts. And in the end, you can see at the bottom, we've completed this selection, and it gives us our saturated suction temperature, our TD of 9.5, and then our total system capacity of 8,144 BTUs per hour. Okay, so next thing that we can do here is choose options for the condensing unit. So we'll click on the options button below the condensing unit nomenclature here. And the screen that comes up are all the options available to you. Since it's just we'll consider this just a typical cooler, we'll choose a B package, which is a standard condensing unit with a liquid line filter and sight glass. Hit OK, and we'll do the same here on the evaporator. We'll click on the options page, and what comes up again are all the options available to you to choose from for this evaporator, and we'll just choose a pre-assembled evaporator using a Sporlan expansion valve. Click there, you can see it highlights exactly what's available. So you can notice that highlighted is the Sporlan expansion valve, Sporlan liquid line solenoid valve, and then a mechanical factory thermostat. And we'll hit OK and return to the previous screen. Now we'll just hit the OK button down below the total system capacity, return to the previous summary screen, and you can see that it shows all of our loads, our factor of safety, our runtime, and then of course the information that we have from the previous screen, which is the system capacity of 8,144 BTUs per hour. You can save this load calculation by clicking the Save button and choose, we'll just save it to the desktop, and we'll just call it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hit Save, and you'll notice in the upper left-hand corner there's my load calc file. If you'd like to print this to a PDF, simply hit Print, and your printer drivers show up here, and we'll go to the Qt PDF writer, which you can download online, and it's just a simple driver that allows you to print the PDF. Hit Print, and it will ask you where you would like to save the file to. And I will choose desktop, and we'll call this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hit save, and you can see the PDF shows up on our desktop here. To take a look at this load calculation as well as equipment selection, click on the icon, and the next thing that should come up is your PDF file. Okay, so here you have it in front of you. Here are your cooling requirements as we've discussed in the previous tutorials. An explanation of your wall load, your infiltration load, your product loads, miscellaneous loads, system design summary to include design load, factor of safety, safety load, runtime, capacity required as a function of runtime, your refrigerant, frequency, TD, line loss, and your ambient. Down below you can see that the condensing unit and evaporator equipment summary is included, giving you your nomenclature for the condensing unit, your nomenclature for the evaporator, general description for each, the product family, the voltages, and their ratings. And then finally down below you'll see the suction temperature, evaporator TD, and the system capacity. So if we go to the next page, you'll see that it pretty much gives you the exact same information, except it does list the model features. And in this case we've chosen a B package, so any box with the number 1 in it on this page tells you what options you've chosen for this system. As before, your voltage, your refrigerant, horsepower, your conditions, and then to include your electrical data as well as your compressor nomenclature in RST64C1E, and then liquid and suction fittings, your product weight or equipment weight, receiver capacity, and refrigerant charge. And then we go to the next pages, and it also gives me my elevations, and then the same is true for the evaporator as well as its elevations. So we'll close this out, return to this page, and that summarizes equipment selection. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact your local Trenton Refrigeration Sales Engineer. Thank you and have a great day.